Hello there, wonderful metrics. Welcome to Educate. In this video, we'll be talking about the Goha Industrial Development Zone. Stay tuned as we dive in. So, before we even talk about the Goha Industrial Development Zone, we need to understand in general what are industrial development zones. So, the IDZ stands for Industrial Development Zone in full, but in short, we just say it's an IDZ, which is just an abbreviation. So when we talk about Industrial Development Zone, we are talking about an industrial zone that encourages more exports than imports, and it encourages this concept of beneficiation. Remember, basically, when you talk about an industrial zone, it's just a place that has got multiple industries. Remember that industries, their main focus is to manufacture a value-added products or value-added goods. They manufacture them from what? They manufacture them from raw materials that are coming from the primary sector. For example, we have got companies that processes fruits to be able to make some fruit juice. We've got some companies that processes some vegetables to be able to make some mixed veggies or something like that you can buy from your normal retail or your normal supermarket, such as your ShopRite, for example. So basically, we have got a certain industrial zone that is unique, and this one encourages more exportation of goods than importation of goods. Okay, so remember that whenever we're exporting goods, it simply means that we are selling goods from this country in South Africa to the outside countries or to the international market. We just call it an international market. So an industrial zone, its main focus or its main aim, it is to export, or it is to manufacture products that can be exported or that can be sold to outside countries. Okay, so yes, we can have local products that can be sold within the country, but an industrial development zone, it focuses specifically on making or manufacturing products that are going to be exported, products that are going to be sold to other countries. So the IDZ basically encourages the use of resources to produce more value-added goods that can be exported to international markets. As I've already stated, that for this industrial development zone, for it to be able to promote beneficiation, for it to be able to promote more exports than imports, it encourages the use of resources to be able to produce more value-added goods, and those goods can be exported to the international markets. For example, you can see in this diagram or in this image, you are seeing two workers here that are making a car. Okay, this is a car that is being made here. Remember that the car is made from raw materials, and those raw materials, they are usually not having that much value, but the moment when they are being assembled into make a car becomes a value-added good. A car becomes something that is expensive, or that has got more value, so that car can now be sold to outside markets. So now, for the industrial development zones to be able to easily access the international markets, the industrial development zones are usually located closer to the harbors to be able to allow this link to the international markets. For example, when we look at this, is a picture of the Saldanha Bay Industrial Development Zone. It is located right next to the Indian Ocean. Why is it located right next to the Indian Ocean? It is because it is easier to be able to access international markets when you're at the ocean. Remember that, by the way, whenever two countries trade goods with one another, they usually do it via the harbor. Okay, for example, if we're talking about China, or let me just talk about United States. Let's just say we've got United States of America, and they want to buy some goods from us. We can just make sure that we ship the goods via the harbor. The harbor is just a place that is next to the ocean, and it ships those goods. So basically, the industrial development zones, these places that have got these industries, they are usually located closer to the harbors. Why are they located closer to the harbors? So that it can be easy to be able to link to the international market. Okay, you don't have to travel a long distance with your products to be able to sell them into the international market. You don't have to travel longer distances to be able to access the harbor, because the harbor, it is basically where there is this break of bulk in transport, whereby you are able to sell your goods via ship maybe the goods are coming from South Africa, they're going to USA, or maybe they are going to any other country there overseas. Okay, so there are multiple industrial development zones in South Africa, but specifically in this video, we'll be focusing on the Coega Industrial Development Zone. That is for your 2026 geography final. Okay, so let me just dive you in for just 50 seconds and let's just watch the video from the industrial development zone itself. What do you think they are?
The world-class Coega Special Economic Zone, or SEZ, is the right place for your business at the right time for strategic investment in the Eastern Cape and Africa, and the right choice to be on the cutting edge of future economic developments aligned to government policy, the Industrial Policy Action Plan and Special Economic Zone Act. Managed by the Coega Development Corporation, the Coega SEZ is situated in bustling Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, adjacent to the deep water port of Ngqura, and only 15 minutes from the port of Gqeberha. Equipped to handle all commodities, bulk, general and container cargo, it's the only SEZ in South Africa with 3 well-equipped ports which form the gateway to global accessibility, trade and investment.
Yes, so basically this is just a short extract from the ITZ themselves, explaining basically where is a Coega ITZ. So in general, we can be able to say that in general, Coega ITZ is located near Gqeberha in Port Elizabeth, that is in Eastern Cape. It is located close to the port of Ngqura, Port of Ngqura, to drive local and foreign investment. So this is just the Coega Special Economic Zone. So that's the Coega ITZ in short terms. Okay, so this is the Coega ITZ. You can see it is somewhere in Eastern Cape here, very closer to the ocean. Remember that the strategic thing about this Coega special this Coega ITZ, what is the strategic thing about its location? It is supposed to be closer to the harbors, and you've already heard there that we have got the port of Ngqura. So the port of Ngqura, for example, is a harbor there. There is a harbor there at the port of Ngqura, so it's easier to be able to transport some goods over to them to the international market. So there's it's an advantage that this Coega ITZ is close to the port of Ngqura to be able to drive the local as well as the foreign investment as well, because we can be able to trade goods with other countries through this port. Okay, through this port. So hence why we say that Coega ITZ is supposed to be located where it is. But we need to look at other factors. What factors actually favor the location of the Coega ITZ? So before we get there, let's look first at the main industrial activities that attract investment at the Coega ITZ. Why would you think that more investors are coming to this ITZ? What is attracting them there in the first place? Okay, so basically there are a lot of industrial activities, including metals and metallurgical activities. Basically, we're talking about metals processing. Remember that we have got different types of metals, and those are used in different making different products. For example, when we look at your cars, when you look at your ships, when you look at your airplanes and all of those heavy machines, they are made from metals, and those metals, they need to be manufactured or they need to be produced, and this is known as metals processing, or it's a metallurgical industry as well. So in case you're interested in doing metallurgy, you can just apply for a Bachelor of Science in Metallurgy at the university of your choice, but you are basically dealing with metals, creating metals and materials for different purposes. We also have got an automotive industry that is booming up as well. The automotive industry basically makes the cars, so it is all focused on the cars. So there are quite a lot of car making industries there. And when we look at another one, we've got the agro processing as well. So the agro processors, remember that these ones are focused more on processing the agricultural products or the crops. Okay, it can be the crops or the fruits, any one of those, they can be processed. For example, when you talk about fruit canning, when you are looking carefully at this image, these are canned fruits. These are like your benches, your peaches, those fruits that you guys plant and you guys like to steal in neighborhoods. So those fruits, they are usually canned, right? So that canning process is known as It's an example of agro processing, when you are processing, agricultural products to make them to have more value. So this is part of the industrial activities that are being done at the Coega IDZ. And also chemicals as well. Chemicals are very essential because they are used in multiple purposes. We cannot do anything without chemicals these days. We're talking about washing powders, they're made of chemicals. Your food, there is chemicals there are chemicals in it, and there is quite a lot of chemicals in multiple of the things that we use. So the chemical industry is also a boom at the Coega IDZ, one of the major ones, and there is definitely growing, and it keeps on growing. And then we have got other industrial activities such as the logistics. The logistics, remember, they are just focused on transporting goods from one place to another. We have got energy as well. They are focused on producing energy using minerals and all of that, as well as trade. All of these are some of the main industrial activities that attract investment at the Coega IDZ. So, for example, if it happens that later on in the future, you have got your company, maybe you want to develop a company to make some tinned fruit or something like that, or some tinned fish, you can just try and invest into the Coega IDZ and probably establish your business there. So that's an ultimate business destination, considering its success in the recent years. So now let's look at what factors actually favor the location of Coega IDZ. What actually makes Coega IDZ to continue thriving, like when you compare to the other industrial development zones. So the first one, there is efficient transport infrastructure. For example, there is a road, there is a rail, and this actually gives the IDZ easy access to international markets. So not only do we have a road transport alone, but we have got a railway as well. So there is a railway lines. You can see that these are railway lines, and here you can see that we're having trains, and these trains have got wagons. So the wagons here, they are actually carrying some goods that are to be sold to international markets. Okay, that is where your Transnet gets in. I'm sure you often hear about the Transnet companies. They are the ones that are managing the process. So you can see that here, these are trains and these are wagons. These wagons probably have got some precious commodities or goods that can be sold over the international markets. So it is very easy to access. It is very easy to access the harbor. It is very easy to access this point whereby you are able to sell to international markets. Because let's just say that my company is somewhere there far away here. For it to be able to get to the international markets, there is an efficient transport system that is closer to this Coega IDZ. Okay, so this Coega IDZ, you can just make your products there at the Coega IDZ, and then you can just use these railway lines, or you can use road transport, or you can use air transport to be able to transport your goods from there to the port of Ngqura, whereby you can be able to sell them over to the international markets as well. So remember, bear in mind, grade 12s, that whenever you answer questions with regards to geography, make sure that you give a cause and an effect. When you explain your answer, the cause is here. There is efficient transport infrastructure. This is more like the cause that we have. If you have watched my previous video, you understand the cause and effect type of a answering system. Now, since we have got efficient transport infrastructure, what result do we get from that efficient transport infrastructure? It gives the IDZ easy access to international markets. So whenever you answer questions in geography, don't just say that there is efficient transport and infrastructure. No, you need to be specific that this efficient in a transport infrastructure, it gives the industrial development zone easy access to international markets. Because if you just say there is efficient transport infrastructure, so what? Like, what does this have to do with development of the Coega IDZ? Nothing. You have to make sure that you always link everything to the Coega IDZ by using the cause and an effect style of answering. So there is efficient transport infrastructure. That is the cause. Okay, no matter, that is the factor that we are talking about. But now, how does that factor affect the development of the Coega IDZ? How does it favor the development? It gives the IDZ easy access to international markets. Simple way of answering. That's how you score your 2 marks per point whenever you do paragraph questions. And then when you look at the second one, there are 3 major accessible ports. Okay, so as I've already told you guys that we have got this Coega ITZ being close to 3 major accessible ports close to Coega. So we're talking about the port of Ngqura, we're talking about Gqeberha, we're also talking about East London. So those are 3 ports. All of those are 3 ports because the port of Gqeberha as well is also there. It's an access port. Even East London as well, even Ngqura as well. So basically these ports, they are used, as I've already told you, these ports, they are used to be able to transport cargo or to be able to transport goods from this country to other countries. So it's easy to export. And that is why all the ITZs are placed like closer to the harbors, closer to the ocean. It is because they want to easily access the international markets. Alright, they want to easily be able to export some goods to the outside countries. Yes, we can also import some couple of things, but the industrial development zone's focus is to increase the exportation of goods. So increase the exportation of goods. That is known as beneficiation. When they are more, they want to promote more exports, because when a country sells more of goods and buys less of goods, it's going to make more profit. But when a country buys more and sells less, that is going to be a loss, which is what we are currently facing right now in the country. So basically, we need to promote more industrial development zones, or we need to invest in these industrial development zones so that we can be able to make more products that can be sold to other countries, therefore increasing their rate of exportation. So the balance of trade kind of becomes positive there. If you remember in your grade 11, you learned about the balance of trade. The balance of trade becomes positive because you are selling more, you are buying less, you get the profit. Then eventually that translates to economic growth for the country, grade 12s. So it is very important for you to mention that whenever you talk about the factors that are favoring the development. Okay, the Coega is located closer to the 3 major accessible ports, and this makes it easier to trade with international markets. Remember again the cause and effect style of answering. If you just say that there are 3 major accessible ports, so what? Those ports, what are they used for? How do they affect development of the Coega? You won't be able to get the entire 2 marks. That's why you must say there are 3 major accessible ports close to the Coega ITZ. You don't have to mention them name by name. You might forget. There's no problem. Just say that there are 3 major accessible ports. So what? They are used to make trading easy with international markets. You phrase it in your own way, but you should still give the cause and you should give the effect. In this case, it is easy trade. And then now, when you look at other factors, the industrial development zone is located near Chief Dawood Sturman International Airport. So Chief Dawood Sturman was one of the person that was named, or this airport was named after him. So this is an advantage because the ITZ is closer to an international airport. By the way, this is an international airport, it's not a domestic one. Means that people from other countries, outside countries, are able to access South Africa using that airport. So this actually allows the foreign investors easily access the industrial development zone. For example, if I'm an investor coming from the United States of America and I want to establish my business, I can just board a flight to Chief Dawood Sturman International Airport. Maybe I'm moving from New York City's airport, and then I come here to South Africa at Chief Dawood Sturman's International Airport, and then I see that closer to it there is a Coega ITZ there. I can be able to easily invest in it because it is easily accessible. So basically, it is a strategic thing for this Coega ITZ to be located closer to the airport, because whenever foreign investors are landing in South Africa, they can easily access the Coega ITZ. Because let's just say we didn't have this airport. Maybe the only airport that we had was King Shaka International Airport. If that was the case, it means that the foreign investors would reach at King Shaka International Airport in Durban, and they will need to like travel around let's just say around roughly 6 hours to be able to get to the Gqoga ITZ, because it's very far from, King Shaka International Airport. So having an airport closer to the ITZ is an advantage, because it makes it easier for foreign investors to easily access the ITZ. And once the foreign investors access the ITZ, they can be able to propose some business there, and then be able to eventually invest in the business, invest in the ITZ by making their own business, establishing their own businesses there. That is how you grow the nation. You need more foreign investment into the country as well, because that actually results in greater economic growth through foreign exchange. And then one other factor that favors the Gqoga development, the development of the Gqoga ITZ, is that there are more storage facilities as well. So there are a lot of storage facilities. For example, we have got this one. I think this is known as CCH cold chain. Yeah, CCH cold chain. So this is a storage facility that is storing, I think it's agricultural products or crops. Okay, so there are many warehouses. Warehouses are just those places of storage. Okay, so there are many warehouses around the Gqoga ITZ. So this makes it easier to store some cargo, for the storage of cargo before trading with the international markets. Okay, so when you make your products, or whenever you make your goods in those industries, in the industrial development zone, you don't sell them immediately grade 12. Obviously, that's unrealistic. You might need to store them somewhere. Okay, maybe I'm making some tinned fruits, or maybe I'm making some pill charts, or whatever it is that I'm making in my company. I need to have an efficient storage system for them, so that whenever people are coming to buy, they will find it in the right state and all of that. So there are a lot of these places to be able to store cargo. Cargo is just those goods that are going to be shipped, or that are going to be moving via air transport or water transport. That's the cargo that I'm talking about. So basically, there are a lot of storage facilities, such as your warehouses, that are supplying this. Okay, some of them, they are refrigerating places. For example, if you are making those things that are perishable, products that are perishable, you might need to find a place that is cold, so that they remain in a cool, dry condition, and they do not expire, they do not rot and all of that. So we need storage, and in Gqoga it is an advantage, because surrounding the Gqoga Industrial Development Zone, there are quite a lot of these storage facilities. There are quite a lot of these warehouses, and these warehouses are being utilized for storage of cargo before trade with international markets begins. So these are just some of those factors that favor the development of the Gqoga Industrial Development Zone. There are many other factors that you can still go through. You are a creative learner. You are supposed to improvise on it. You are supposed to research on it. You must think of other things that make Gqoga ITZ one of the most successful. Because in fact, it is the most successful industrial development zone in South Africa, because it has got quite a lot of factors that are favoring it. I mean, there's a lot of good transport. The ports, there are 3 ports that are closer to it. There is also an international airport closer to it. There are a lot of storage facilities, and many more other factors that are favoring the development of Gqoga. So I challenge you to continue going deep with this research as well. But now, as much as we might have these factors that are favoring the development of the Gqoga ITZ, we also have those factors that hinder the development of the Gqoga ITZ. They are factors that always give friction, no matter how good your thing may be. All right. So one of them, there is a greater strain on the resources. So this is one of the most important one. There is a greater strain on the resources. What resources are we talking about? Usually we're talking about your electricity and your water. Remember that as these industries grow in the industrial development zone, they need to use water quite a lot. We cannot have an industry that is operating without using water, definitely not. And you cannot also have an industry operating without the use of electricity as well. So if we are having this a heavy clustering of industries, because the Koha ITZ is one of the best and the toppest industrial development zone, so we have got heavily clustered industries. So we've got a heavy clustering of industries. Okay, it's almost like the PWV, or it's almost like the Pretoria, Witwatersrand and Vereeniging region, but it is not that much, because the Joburg region or the Gauteng in the industrial area, it is too much over concentrated. But when you look at the Koha ITZ, it's not that much over concentrated, but it has got a lot of clustered industries. And these clustered industries, all of them, they are depending on the same electricity, the same water supply. Okay, so the water supply and the electricity supply may actually experience a strain due to these industries. Okay, so these industries, all of them, they are using up the water and they're using up the electricity. So there's this thing of kind of like there's some sort of competition. Okay, so if you are going to think about developing your own industry as well, maybe an industry that is going to cook some pap, you need to make sure that the water there is reliable for you to make a lot of pots of pap and some meat and all of that. Otherwise, I don't know how you're gonna cook some dry meat or something. Okay, but we have got also another problem. There is a poor supply of water as well to the area. So although, okay, you might think that this is a lot of an irony, or more like an irony, because the Koha ITZ is located right next to the ocean. So you would ask yourself that an ocean is a very large body of water. Why are we having a poor supply of water? Yes, indeed, Koha ITZ is located very closer to the ocean. Indeed, I agree. There's no problem with that. But the supply of water is not reliable. Okay, in the area, the supply of water is not reliable. Remember that we cannot just go and fetch water from the ocean and just take buckets and say, hi, because I'm in KZN, let me just go and take some buckets and fetch water from the ocean so that I can use it for my industrial activities. No, the water from the ocean usually is salty. It is salty and it cannot really be used without proper purification, without proper water treatment. So it is very essential for water treatment to happen first before supplying water to the local areas. Okay, so as much as we can be closer to the ocean and stuff like that, it doesn't mean that we always have a reliable supply of water. No. Okay, and the people that are supplying the water are the ones that are responsible for doing that, and they might have their own inconsistencies or their own problems, and that actually leads to a poor supply of water to the area, although there is abundant water around. Okay, so this actually leads to the reduced industrial activity. Why does this lead to a reduced industrial activity? Because we cannot actually operate industries without using water. So if it happens that there are water cuts, or there are water cuts, maybe to control the usage of water, that is going to have a problem a lot. That's going to have a big problem, because we cannot be able to proceed with our industrial operations or industrial activity, because we definitely do not have the water to work with, because water is one of those precious raw materials that is usually needed in everything. Okay, so that's a problem as well, and it does hinder the development of the Koha ITZ, because the supply of water around the area is not quite reliable. And then when you look also, there is great congestion as well. So there is a lot of congestion at the ports of Mocha due to high trading activity, leading to slower trade processes. Why do we say that there is a greater congestion, or what is this greater congestion that we are talking about? The port of Mocha is one of the largest ports that is used for international trade between South Africa and other countries, especially the countries overseas. When you look at the port of Mocha, there's a lot of cargo, there's a lot of goods, there's a lot of products that are being sold, and it's over congested. It's congested. There's a lot. You can see from this image that all of these red blocks here, these are all boxes that are full of cargo. This is all cargo being the goods that are being sold to the international markets, or that are being sold to outside the country, or that are being exported. So there's a lot of industries that are selling a lot of things to outside the country. So this actually becomes a problem, because you can see that if you want to sell your own type, let's just say you develop your own industry, the Koha ITZ, and now it's now your turn to trade with other countries, you will end up delaying, because processing these large amounts of cargo is not an easy thing. It's not just your everyday job to just say, just take the cargo and go. No. There's a lot of customs. There's a lot of logistics that have to be managed properly. There's a lot of paperwork as well, and there's a lot of time consumed in doing all of that. So basically, because of this congestion that happens at the port of Moha, it makes it hard for the Koha ITZ to grow, because some industries in the Koha ITZ will not be able to get their cargo to the international market as soon as they wish, because there are problems with the congestion. It's overly congested and it's not easy to be able to just get your goods across and to go to the international markets as well. So this actually leads to slower trading processes as well. The ITZ as well is distant from mining products. Your mining products such as your gold and your coal, this actually leads to higher transportation costs from the mines. First of all, Eastern Cape is not that much rich with these minerals such as gold and coal. Yes, the Koha ITZ, it has got mineral processing companies and industries that are processing minerals. Maybe they are processing gold or they are processing coal to make value-added goods, but they do not source the coal locally. The coal is not found easily, or is not found closer in Eastern Cape, so it needs to be transported from another place. Usually the coal is transported from places that are abundant in coal in South Africa, because when you look at in the Koha ITZ, it's a region, or the Eastern Cape region itself, it does not have a lot of these minerals, but the companies there at the Koha ITZ, they are processing those minerals. So where are they getting the minerals? They have to buy them so that they can process them. They have to buy them far away. They have to buy them from mines, and those mines, they may be located in other provinces such as KwaZulu-Natal, such as Mpumalanga and Gauteng and all of that. So the industrial development zone, it is far away from those mining products. It is very distant. The term distant here, it is the emphasis here. It is very distant from mining products. It is not closer to mining products. It's not easy to just say, I want to process some gold, let me just go and find it nearby. No, it is not there. It is found far away. Okay, so that actually leads to higher transportation costs, because now you need to transport the gold or the coal from a faraway place. Imagine, let's just say you find coal at Emalahleni in Mpumalanga. Emalahleni is very far away. Okay, very far away from the ITZ. That's going to take 12 hours to travel with that if you're going to use the road transport. And you seriously cannot transport coal using air transport. Definitely not. Coal is a commodity. You want it in large quantities, so you need to use your trucks, and those trucks, they take days and days moving from Emalahleni all the way to the Koha ITZ. This actually slows down. It slows down everything, and it's also costly. It's very expensive to be able to get a logistics company that will give you transport to be able to transport that large amount of a commodity, or maybe gold or coal, from a very far away place to the Koha ITZ. So this actually hinders as well the growth of those industries that are making or that are processing coal and gold. Okay, then when we look at also the social and the economic impacts of the Koha ITZ. All right. Remember that whenever we talk about the social impacts, you need to focus more on the people. So these are the people's impact. How are people impacted by this whole? And then when you talk about the economic impacts, you need to focus on the country's economy. Okay. So this one, you must focus on the country's economy as a whole. Or you are talking about things such as your GDP and all of that, right? So basically, when we look at the social impacts of the Koha ITZ. There is a variety of industry at the Koha ITZ. I've already told you guys that there is agro processing, there is automotive industry, there is a minerals processing, there is metallurgy, and there are a lot of chemicals being made. There are a variety of industries. So this creates job opportunities. It creates employment opportunities for the surrounding population, especially the local people. We have a university in Eastern Cape, specifically closer to the Koha ITZ, the Nelson Mandela University. The Nelson Mandela University is also having courses such as your mining engineering. So there are people that are learning mining engineering at university level, and then by studying this, mining engineering, they expect to get jobs. Where are they going to get the jobs? They're going to get them locally because they are having the skills, they're having them the attributes that are required for them to be able to work in such industries. So this whole thing of having quite a variety of industries, or of having quite a lot of different types of industries, others are automotive, others are metallurgy, others are metals, others are chemicals, all of that, it creates opportunities, employment opportunities for the people that are surrounding in the area. And then when we look at others, is the fact that we have got more employment. You already know that there will be less poverty in that place. So increasing employment of local people actually reduces poverty. So by increasing employment, this cause of increasing employment to local people, it actually reduces poverty, and this actually increases your standard of living. So generally, that's a good social impact. It is a good benefit to us people when we have got more buying power. It is a good benefit for us people when we've got a greater standard of living and we alleviate poverty, because that's one of our sustainable development goals in the future as well. Okay, so we need more people to be employed. That is why you guys should be working hard as well to try and be employed there as well. Either you are being employed or you are developing your own business at the Koha ITZ or any other places of interest that you can invest in as well. And when we look at the educational facilities as well, there is better access to educational and health facilities. When you talk about educational facilities, we're talking about your institutions such as your Nelson Mandela University. So for example, at Eastern Cape, we've got Nelson Mandela University, that's NMU, as well as Walter Sisulu University. So that's actually a good thing, because Eastern Cape has got quite a lot of universities compared to most provinces. So that's actually shows that education is being promoted there, and that helps us people because it develops our minds, our literacy rate increases, all of that. So there's always a better access to those educational as well as health facilities, your clinics and all of that. So for example, the Nelson Mandela University is one example of an educational institution that is located closer to the Koha ITZ, and yes, all of that. So that's a benefit of having an ITZ closer. And then when we look at the economic impacts now, let's just look at the impacts that we say they're economic. These ones, they somehow promote the growth of the country. Okay, so basically the Koha ITZ, it promotes the development of new and existing infrastructure such as your roads, your bridges, and your railway lines. Remember guys that for this thing of trading internationally to work, we need more efficient transport. So if I am an investor and I come to your Koha ITZ and I see that your roads have got quite a smaller number of potholes, I will definitely make sure that I fix those potholes so that I can be able to do business, because my trucks will never be able to move if I've got some potholes inside the roads or at the roads. So basically having an industrial development zone such as the Koha closer to the roads basically promotes the development of those roads. So others, they also develop new roads so that they can be able to access their international markets easily. So is roads, is bridges, is railway lines, all of that is a infrastructure that's going to be developed by the industrial development zone, and that's a good economic advantage. And also it promotes the domestic trade between South African provinces and international trade with neighboring countries. Not only does an ITZ sell products to outside countries, an ITZ also sells products to local provinces, maybe from Eastern Cape to KZN or from Eastern Cape to Mpumalanga. For example, as I've already told you, that some industries that process gold in Eastern Cape, they have to purchase the gold from other countries, maybe purchase it from Gauteng. That's already domestic trade. We are already trading within the country, but it also promotes trading with other countries outside South Africa as well. And then this actually significantly contributes to the gross domestic product of RSA of South Africa. This is through promoting manufacturing and the secondary sector. So promoting manufacturing in the secondary sector actually promotes the growth in terms of our gross domestic product. Remember that the gross domestic product is looking at the value of the goods and services that are being made inside the country in a year per annum. Okay, so basically, if we have got more industrial development zones, or if we have got this KOGA IDZ, this KOGA IDZ is promoting more manufacturing of goods, because I told you guys at the beginning that industrial development zones, they are more focused on promoting exportation than importation of goods. And for that to happen, they need to promote the use of resources and technology to be able to create value added goods from raw materials. So here, this is an actual significant contribution to the gross domestic product of South Africa, because now we will have greater value of goods because we are now making more goods. So you need to even give your answer some energy. Don't just say that it contributes to the GDP. Don't give such answers, guys. Such answers are for memorandums. But whenever you are writing, you are supposed to write in full the cause and the effect. So don't go and download some memorandum and then you find they say it contributes to the GDP and you give yourself 2 marks for that. No, the memorandum is for the marker. But when the marker is marking your script, what are they expecting? They are expecting to see the cause and an effect, as I've already told you. First of all, let me just show you the cause and effect for this last statement. The economic impact of KOGA IDZ, it contributes to the GDP. How does it do that? It contributes it through manufacturing. It's manufacturing more products, okay, or it promotes the secondary sector to keep on manufacturing, or the industries to keep on making more value added goods. These value added goods, they are the ones that contribute to the GDP. You gave your cause, you gave an effect, you get your 2 marks. So that way you will be able to say indeed you did score high in geography. So thank you so much for watching this wonderful video, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tell friends to also stay tuned.